All right, welcome everybody to the Committee of the Whole meeting. This is Tuesday, May 20th at 6:30 PM. Can I get a roll call?
Rosted,
Here.
Meyer,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Lawson,
Here.
Rolke,
Here.
Finkler,
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
And the meeting was posted?
It was.
All right. I am looking for approval of the agenda.
So move.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sorry, Rostad first. Amy second.
Yep.
Any public comment?
I don't think anyone signed in on my blank sheets.
All right, anybody want to speak that didn't sign in? All right, new business. Consideration of a request from Doylestown Fire Department for exemption from section 66-216B of the municipal code to hold a gun raffle fundraiser at Fireman's Park Pavilion in April-ish, sometime in the spring of 2026. Matt?
Based on this event being held this past spring and no issues that I've been made aware of, I heard it was a well-received event and that they did well with their efforts. I do have an update on the date. They would be looking for the April 4th through 6th weekend of 2026. So if this does move forward to council, the motion could be made for the weekend of April 4th through the 6th.
All right. I didn't catch who was first. Okay, Alder Rostad?
I guess my question would be, we're still not posted, right? And this was approved in November to post. So,
The stickers have been ordered. They'll be
Okay.
put up as soon as we receive them.
and then section B, it says carry a concealed or unconcealed. No one carries at the event. They just lay on a table. So do we have to? Is this something that even needs to be brought up?
We did on the last one.
We did, but we were under the impression we were going to be posted by April for the 2025 fundraiser.
We will be posted by 2026.
Anything else?
Well, that this still doesn't. No one's concealing it, and no one's carrying it.
I always err, and I don't know, I always err on the side of caution with these types of things. So I don't know, does anybody have an objection to us just approving this and like, even if we don't know, better safe than sorry? Okay. Alder Meyer?
Never mind.
Alder Lawson?
Only question I have is for Amy Jo probably. No conflicts with other events that we know of? Oh, no. Nope. Okay.
Mayor Hammer?
And just that you are firm or confirmed on that, because that is isn't that Easter weekend for next year, and they're good with that.
They're good with that.
Okay,
I
all
gave
right.
them 3 dates, and that's the one you chose.
Okay.
The other one is Easter, and the 19th was too far
All right,
into the month.
that's fine. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be posted by that time, I see no issue with continuing on as we did this past year. So,
All right, everybody good with this, moving on to council? All right, next one, discussion of ordinance 800-25, an ordinance to repeal and recreate section 2-558B concerning legal custodians of records. Matt?
This is kind of a procedural cleanup. Our current ordinance says the city clerk is the record of all, or is the holder of all records. What this cleans up is it clarifies that the Human Resources Administrator is the holder of all personnel files and that the police department is the holder of their own records. And so it's a cleanup in the code that specifies that yes, all other records are kept by the clerk, but those are kept specifically with those staff positions.
Alder Rostad?
Just for clarification, police is because the union matters, or
Police personnel records are still kept with the Human Resources Administrator. Ultimately, what this boils down to is open records requests.
Okay.
And a lot of that is tied to the on-body cameras of the officers is where, Dennis can clarify this, but I think that's the bulk of a lot of the records requests they get. And because they manage that system, it just makes sense for that to be there, as well as all of the, I'm guessing this ties to the Badger tracks and how citations are issued, and that all of that data is kept within that system, and only the police department has access to it as well.
All that under the Regis and CGIS data requirements too, because they're criminal justice records. Can't just be kept by anybody. They are available on open records, per se, but there are restrictions with like body camera stuff we have to watch and edit. License plates, juveniles, faces, it's kind of complicated, so.
Alder Lawson?
So the Human Resources Administrator holds the records for personnel files from the police department, but not the rest of the city.
All city staff files.
I don't think that's how this reads. It says police department employees.
If, are you looking at the memo that Susan wrote or the ordinance itself?
Both.
Okay, because the memo wrote personnel records which should be kept by the city human resources administrator with the other city employee documents. So the other city employee documents are the city personnel files for all staff, as I would interpret that.
Where's the other city employee? What line is that? Sorry.
That's in the memo. It says also the police chief or their designee should act as the legal custodian for all records of the City of Columbus Police Department, except for personnel records, which should be kept by the City Human Resources Administrator with the other city employee documents. And I think that could be basically better worded to say other city personnel records, if that makes sense. And that's
Yeah,
in the memo. And then the ordinance,
The ordinance makes it sound like police department employees, not all city.
and I think that's a good catch and is an acceptable edit. You could approve the ordinance pending final city attorney or city administrator review, however you want to handle that.
Any other discussion? Everybody good with this moving to council? All right, that's it. I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We got a first by Alder Rolke and a second by Alder Meyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned.
We will move right into the regular common council meeting and welcome everybody to tonight's regular common council meeting of May 20th. Welcome to those that are watching via cable. And Matt, could have a roll call, please?
Finkler,
Here.
Rolke,
Here.
Lawson,
Here.
Reed,
Here.
Meyer,
Here.
Rosted,
Here.
Hammer. Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting has been properly posted per state statutes, and I would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll move to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. On file are the department reports for the fire department of April 2025, library of April of 2025, and police of April 2025. Anybody for public comment for this meeting? Or anybody wish to speak? Then we will move on to consent agenda. That includes the special committee of the whole meeting minutes of April 24th, 2025, special committee of the whole and common council meeting minutes of May 6th of 2025, approval of the road closures for Memorial Day Parade and the 4th of July Parade, approval of fireworks permit Spectrum Pyrotechnics in the Fireman's Park for Columbus 4th of July celebration on July 4th with a rain date of July 5th, and approval of the temporary Class B licenses, picnic license for CHLPC Summer Concert Series and the Columbus 4th of July Incorporated.
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Reed second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Reed. Discussion on this matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent agenda approved. Then first under item number 6, and under ordinances, is to consider and take action on ordinance 800-25, an ordinance to repeal and recreate section 2-558B concerning legal custodial custodians of records. First, I would look for a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted, second by Alder Roki to suspend the rules. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second would be to waive the readings. And, okay,
I'll move to waive the readings. Sorry.
that's right.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer to waive the readings. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then next would to be to take motion on ordinance 800-25.
I'll move to approve ordinance 800-25
The updated language for,
for,
that it
with the
includes
addition of the
human resources,
human
including
resource
all city
manager,
employees.
authorizing the city administrator to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Lawson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Are you caught up?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then next on the agenda is to consider and take action on ordinance 801-25, an ordinance to repeal and recreate certain provisions of section 1419 of the City Code of Ordinances concerning the keeping of chickens. And this is just raising the number from 4 chickens up to 8 chickens and no roosters, so.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Roki to suspend the rules. Any discussion? Alder Rusted?
When do we discuss stuff in this matter? Here or after the waive of the reading? Okay.
Yeah, then before you approve the final ordinance, then that's where the discussion comes in. So any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next would be to waive the readings.
I'll move to waive the reading.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Lawson, second by Alder Roki to waive the readings. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and opposed? Okay, and then next would be to take action on approving ordinance 801-25.
I'll move to approve ordinance 800-25. Oh, wait, no, I'm reading the wrong one. 801-25, section 14 through 19 of the City Code of Ordinances concerning the keeping of chickens.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Roki. Alder Lawson?
I didn't go back and read the previous one. The only thing that changed was the number, right? To 8 in
Yes.
2 spots, I think. Okay.
Yep.
Alder Rossett.
Have we had anyone else come except for our one permit that's been issued?
Not that I'm aware of, but again, Susan has been out the last few days.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes. With that, I would mention to all those that do have chickens that come in and get your license approved. We will be going through things and then making sure that people are in compliant. But please contact us on your own. Okay, the next is to consider and take action on ordinance 802-25, an ordinance to create section 66-180 of the City of Columbus Code of Ordinances concerning the regulation of electronic smoking devices and electronic smoking device paraphernalia.
I'll move to approve ordinance 802-25 concerning the regulation of electronic smoking devices and electronic smoking device paraphernalia.
Second.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Yep.
I move to amend my motion to first suspend the rules.
And second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer to suspend the rules. Any further discussion on this?
Just a point of order.
Yes.
Her original motion had no second. It fails. She doesn't have to amend anything.
Okay.
And you're able to move forward.
Okay, all in favor then to suspend the rules?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, then next would be to waive the readings.
Alder Rolke will move to waive the reading.
I'll second.
Motion by Alder Roki, second by Alder Lawson to waive the readings. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then next would be to take action on approving ordinance 802-25.
All right, I'll try this again. I will move to approve 802-25 concerning the regulation of electronic smoking devices and electronic smoking device paraphernalia.
Second.
Motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Any discussion on this? Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Then next would be to consider and take action on ordinance 803-25, an ordinance to revise section 18578 of the City of Columbus Code of Ordinances. This is in regards to grass length. This was forwarded from Plan Commission with a recommendation of going from 12-inch grass length to 8-inch grass length.
All right, I will move to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
Okay, motion from Alder Finkler, second from Alder Roki to suspend the rules. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then I would look for a motion to waive the readings.
Alder Rolke will move to waive the readings.
Second.
Motion by Alder Roki, second by Alder Finkler to waive the readings. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then next would be to take action on ordinance to approve 803-25. And so, yeah, look for a motion.
I'll move to approve ordinance 803-25 to revise section 18-578 of the City of Columbus Code of Ordinances to change grass height from 12 inches to 8 inches.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Roki. Discussion, Alder Rosten?
How do we get it changed? I think there needs to be more changes other than the grass height. I believe that we should be removing the parcel size of 5 acres or less. It shouldn't matter what you have for acreage. I had a hard time finding any municipality that put a requirement as a minimum. In my personal belief, it's the city is creating a rule to protect themselves from a rule that we make. And I also believe it needs to be addressed. Is it the entire yard Is it if they don't weed whack once every 3 mowings? And then if they want to, or if we want to go one step further, do we separate commercial and residential, or do we leave it all? My firm belief is if you own property in the city, you fall under this rule without the acreage. That's just my thoughts.
So, from a procedure standpoint, you could, refer it back to Plan Commission and ask that they discuss those specific things. The council would also have the ability to essentially amend the ordinance on the floor. I think the better way of doing it would be to ask Plan Commission to take a look at those issues. I don't know that this is a super time-sensitive issue. I think there's time for it to be discussed further.
So do we have to amend the original motion to put it back to the PFC or Planning Commission?
You could make an amended motion, and then if it passes and the majority, then we don't go back to the original motion, right?
Correct.
I'll make an amended motion that we send this back to the Planning Commission to address the acreage size and commercial versus residential, and then a definition on either the whole yard or the entirety or not the entirety of the yard.
I'll second the amended motion.
Okay, motion by Alder Rasta and a second by Alder Meyer. Any further than discussion on that? So a motion on the floor to send back to Plan Commission. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Nay.
Okay, thank you. All right, this will be going back to Plan Commission. All right, then next would be under new business, and that is to consider and take action on the request from Doylestown Fire Department for the exemption from section 66-216B of the municipal code to hold a gun raffle fundraiser at Fireman's Park Pavilion in the first weekend of April of 2026.
I'm going to move to approve the exemption for the Doylestown Fire Department under section 66-216 subsection B.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Roki. Any further discussion on this? Alder Rosted?
Do we want to add the 4th through the 6th?
I think we should leave it a little open, just in case the date changes, otherwise it's gonna have to come back.
I agree.
So, you want to amend that motion then? No?
I didn't put a date in the motion, so I think it leaves it open. That way they don't have to bring it back if
Sure.
something changes.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then, next is to consider and take action on the claims in the amount of $344,593.67.
I'll make a motion to pay the claims
Second.
in the amount
Oh,
of $344,593.67.
Second.
Motion by Alder Lawson, second by Alder Finkler to pay the claims. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Meyer,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Finkler,
aye.
Rosta.
Aye.
Okay. And city officer report.
They're probably going to be very similar. Last Thursday, I had the opportunity to attend the MEUW conference in La Crosse. Was, for me attending a lot of professional conferences, it was obviously first time attending the electric conference, and was really, there were good sessions, really enjoyed the experience. Couple takeaways. Columbus Utilities was one of a number of communities that earned gold status for safety from MEUW. And I believe that's the highest honor from a safety standpoint. So our staff on the electric utility should be commended. It's tied to, safety standards defined by OSHA. So it's a great testament to the work that our staff is doing. Coincidentally, we had a little weather event in the area that same day. And a lot of the utility workers left rather abruptly Thursday afternoon, as can be expected. Our staff, all 4 linemen and 2 other of the utility staff, assisted Juneau with storm damage. I believe there was a total of 10 utilities municipal utilities that responded. I've got a letter here from Nick Coleman, the Juneau Utilities Superintendent, just thanking all of those utilities that responded and assisted. It's great to see that cooperation amongst the municipal utilities. Manitowoc came to assist Juneau. And I was talking a little bit with Dalton this morning about it. Manitowoc knows that if they're ever hit, they're going to need a lot of help, so they try and help everybody as much as they can. So, but a really good opportunity to attend that conference and kind of see a different side of our municipal operations. So that's all I have.
Okay. Well, I won't go on much to repeat what he had said, other than Columbus also received a safety award from APPA, which is American Public Power Association, which WPPI is part of. So, and then the president and CEO of Wisconsin Public Power Incorporated, which Columbus is a owner and member of, is going to be seated as the new chair of APPA. So it's great Wisconsin representation for that organization. There are a lot of public power communities throughout the U.S. Los Angeles Light and Power is the one of the largest that is out there, but they are a municipal-owned public power utility. So the great thing about having a public power utility is that events such as this, and even if it's not a storm event, these are people that you can pull from if you need help in a situation. Different from an IOU in the sense that IOU union members will not restore power until trees are cleared. MEUW, public power utilities, they go in and they do everything. And that's why power gets restored at a much faster rate. So it's kudos to all the crews that showed up in Juneau. So fantastic.
And I know we love acronyms. IOU in this situation is investor-owned utility.
I was so thrown off.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, for instance, you're Alliant and We Energies and the such. So that's an IOU. Sorry about that. You get used to those acronyms, and MEUW is Municipal Electric Utilities of Wisconsin. So 81 of those in the state of Wisconsin. So, all right, and that's all I have. So I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
You know,
Right here.
was it?
That was this one.
Okay, all right. Well, then we motion by Trina. It's second goes to who?
Me.
Second goes to Alder Finkler. So, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Wow.
So you got thrown off because